Hello and welcome to Network. I'm Lebogang Sejake, standing in for Siphumelele Zondi. Tonight on the show, we have information on South Africa's Home Affairs new online platform, eHome Affairs. We also tell you about the Huawei Mate 8 and the LG G5 smartphones that were launched earlier this week. And we talk to Mzuzukile Soni, creator of Brown Sense, a social media group that creates a database of black-owned businesses. You can email us at news@sabc.co.za, and we are on at SABC Network on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now let's look at our technology and social media news. Frustrations over long queues and inefficiency at Home Affairs offices will soon be over. The department has decided to go digital. You can now apply for your IDs and passports online.
If you are 30 to 35 years of age, you can now apply for your ID or passport online. The Department of Home Affairs has partnered with 4 major banks to introduce the online application services. The portal is dedicated to registrations, uploading of documents, and online payments. This was announced by Home Affairs Minister Melusi Gigaba at the e-channel launch earlier this week.
When we looked at the National Population Register in the age cohorts, we found out that the 30 to 35-year-olds are about 4 million. Now, when you launch a program of this nature, with only 12 branches running, you are trying to avoid the throttling process. You don't want more than sufficient capacity to apply because the program will get throttled and it will collapse.
The banks will also ease the backlog of applications.
There are going to be dedicated areas within the branch with dedicated staff, with dedicated systems, a dedicated Home Affairs server as well. So not only is your information on a Home Affairs server, which is dedicated to Home Affairs, not on the bank systems, but the dedicated staff in the branches, dedicated areas. You won't be going through the normal banking queues at all.
Gigaba has given assurance that the system is safe from cyber attacks. To ensure this, the system will generate 8-digit one-time PIN or OTP, which will be sent to a registered cell phone for a single use only.
You are required to insert a one-time PIN. That one-time PIN is the one that provides security to your application and gives us the guarantee that you are the person who you claim to be applying for that service at that moment.
Applicants will be required to go to either an able bank office or Home Affairs office to do a biometric system. I tried the system and it was running without bugs.
The beginning of the second quarter of the financial year has seen a couple of smartphone launches. The Huawei Mate 8 and the LG G5 were launched earlier this week. We at Network attended these launches to see what these new handsets had to offer. The South African tech space was abuzz this last week with the launch of flagship handsets from 2 smartphone-making companies. LG Mobile launched its new device, the LG G5, on Tuesday, and Huawei followed suit with the launch of its latest smartphone from the Mate family, the Huawei Mate 8. When asked what this new handset had to offer compared to the previous smartphones, LG General Manager Dion Prinsloo had this to say.
Well, we've built the new LG G5, which is the world's first modular type smartphone, which basically allows the attachment of different accessories to enhance the consumer's experience of the mobile world.
While LG had an intimate launch in the north of Johannesburg with media and company executives as guests, Huawei made sure that theirs was a party everyone wanted to go to, boasting a number of celebrities, including the company's device ambassador, Jay Something of the South African band Mikasa. Huawei Charlene Mulinal said that the Mate 8 was optimized largely for business people.
So first and foremost, we have the slogan, a new style of business. Because the Mate series devices by its very category is optimized for a business user. But more than ever, the business user is becoming mobile.
I caught up with some guests at the launch who had a go with the phone. They had nothing but good things to say about the Mate 8.
I think it's great because it's got a huge screen, it's got great screen real estate, which means that you can run multiple apps at the same time, and it's great for productivity.
And the thing that I love the most about this phone is its battery life. I mean, a 2-day battery life. I'm constantly on my phone.
The picture features, the quality, when you take the photo, you actually feel like, hey, this is how I actually look, not where you take photos and you're like, it's a bit blurred out.
The LG G5 comes with accessories which the company dub as Friends, which include virtual reality glasses and a 360 degrees camera, to name a few. This device is now available in South Africa's network providers for about 11,000 rands, while the Huawei Mate 8 goes for about 12,000 rand in cash. Uber has cut 20% of their taxi fares, and Cuba gets high-speed internet connection from Google. These are some of the stories that made headlines in the rest of the tech space. Taxi-hailing application Uber has slashed 20% of their rates from South Africans living in the country's major cities, Johannesburg, Cape Town and Durban, during the not-so-busy winter period. Uber's Sub-Saharan South Africa's General Manager Alan Litz said in a statement that they know that the winter period is considered a slow time for the driver partners, and through experience they learned that price cuts help both riders and driver partners. Now heading over to West Africa. Nigerian artist Olomide Oresegun's captivating portraits look so real and lifelike, it's hard to believe they are paintings on canvas. Olomide's hyper-realist pieces celebrate life in his local community, often depicting women and children. His work has gone viral after he posted pieces from his more recent collection.
I have the passion behind me before the money comes. So the passion is what drives me, not the real money in the first instance. So most times I might not sell work for like 3 months or for thereabouts. But at least I have the passion that one day the works will be noticeable, and at the same time I'll do something that people love to see.
Now off we go to the Queensland. While it was introduced in the South African market to the Huawei Mate 8, the Chinese smartphone maker had a global launch of its new flagship from the P-range family, the Huawei P9, in London on Thursday. Huawei South Africa says that the device will be in the country by June. And now we go to the Americas. Google opened Cuba's first ever free high-speed internet connection at a new technology center in West Havana.
Well, I think this is very good for all the young people. You can see all the enthusiasm here. And it's good for children too, because in this way they increase their knowledge. It's the best thing that has happened, and we need it to continue increasing.
Last month, during his historic visit to Havana, US President Barack Obama told ABC News that Google would set up more Wi-Fi and broadband access on the island. Now headed to North America. A camera mounted on the SpaceX Falcon 9 captured the successful landing of the rocket's booster on an ocean platform last Friday. The Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Florida on a NASA cargo run to the International Space Station on Friday. Minutes later, its reusable main stage booster landed in a dramatic space flight first. Remember, we are on at SABC Network on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. After the break, we talk about connecting black businesses using social media with Mzuzuki Lesoni.
Preparing for victory requires intense effort and teamwork. When you get to it, there is no turning back, because all eyes are on you. When it's action time, nothing should stand in your way. Sports Live tackles and analyzes all the sport action. This is the home of all your sport news, updates, and more. Sports Live weekdays at 8:30 p.m.
Leila Khalif is a young lady who started an online errands running service for Kenyans living outside of the country.
A day at the Taskwetu offices, at the helm of the staff table, is 22-year-old Leila Khalif. Leila is one of the co-founders as well as the chief executive officer of the startup, an online errands platform targeting diaspora Kenyans. Leila is an international relations graduate. She stumbled on technology last year when she decided to start the business.
I used to always look for ways to make extra money from school to, so that I have that extra pocket money with me. So in primary, I used to sell candy. In high school, I used to sell also chocolates and, maybe success cards and stuff like that. Then in university, I got into baking.
Taskwetu loosely translates to task it to us. Using the platform, a client is able to delegate and track from their computers any errand tasked to the company. Since inception in August last year, they have carried out hundreds of tasks. Remittances account for the bulk of Kenya's foreign exchange earnings. Taskwetu is cashing on that, hoping to help those in the diaspora invest their money back home safely. She co-founded the company with a former classmate at the university. She remembers her fears on learning that the success of the business would depend on technology, but determined not to quit, she dove right into it.
I find myself even wanting to learn more, take online classes on coding and different things so that I can know exactly what is going into my business.
The main source of revenue for the company is service charge. A client pays a minimum of $5 for a task, and the tasks vary from delivery of gifts, household shopping on behalf of clients, or huge tasks like getting a house built on behalf of a client. Trust is their key selling point, as every transaction is carried out online.
Even if they get those trustees to do those tasks on their behalf, they've been conned out of their life savings. People have been sent fake pictures of their houses being built or land that was bought for them. And when they come back home, they realize that there's nothing to show for their hard work. So we thought, why not become that institution whereby there's trust and transparency, and they can easily get their investments dreams realized.
There are many young black techpreneurs like Leila Khalif here in South Africa, but people rarely hear about their businesses. Here in the studio, we have Zuzuki Lesoni, creator of Brown Sense, a Facebook group page that creates a database for black-owned businesses, and we will talk to him about his decision to use a social media platform and how this group helps connect black entrepreneurs. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation on @SABC Network on Twitter and Facebook. Hello and welcome to Network.
Hi, thank you, Leo.
Now, Zuzu, please tell us, what is Brown Sense exactly?
So Brown Sense is basically a group or a community of like-minded people, mostly young. I will use mostly the word brown, and I will explain why in terms of defining those people. So it's to connect like-minded business people or people who want to basically spend their money on brown-owned businesses, and also to build, that mindset, a mindset shift where we create our own economy, our own sense of, this is something that we own and something that we are doing for ourselves.
Okay, now elaborate on brown-owned. You just said brown-owned. Does this mean us, the black people?
Yes, so basically, I'm at a stage where we need to call things as they are. So I'm a factual person. We are not black. In fact, black, I am told by some people, that is not a color. So the same as when we address our our counterparts, they are not white and so forth. Maybe we need to find a new word like peach. My daughter says vanilla, something like to that effect. So it's basically to remove the negative thinking or the negative connotations that come with the use black. You get black male, black sheep, black spot, and so forth.
So tell us an example of one of these Brown-owned businesses, like you said.
Okay, so we've got quite a couple of innovative businesses. Through the group, I came across a young man by the name of Hosi. He runs a business, which is quite innovative around the IT or digital space, where we take our stories for our children and digitize them, make them available on be it a tablet, an iPad, your Android-based phone. We've got people like Sydney Matlaku, who runs Nom Nom Kitchen, which is a restaurant he runs out of Midrand, where he provides African or traditional food. So you can call and place an order. Say, I want a mangrina, I want samp and tripe and whatever, and then they will deliver it. And what I like about that also is that when you get the food, it's packaged in environmentally friendly packages.
Namzu, I mean, this could come across to other racial groups as somewhat maybe racist. I mean, have you ever had anybody approach you on that's racist, why are you doing this?
I've had a few people, not in the context of me having started the group, but in my personal space where I've had the conversations. And my take has always been, if you don't get why we are doing this, then you don't understand the history of this country. If you don't understand why, as young brown people, we want to define who we are, we want to tell our own stories, we want to tell the world that this is who we are, this is our history, not the history that we were taught at school, where it was told from the perspective of the colonizers, but the history that we want to rewrite and tell our children that this is who we are. So, basically the thinking is if people don't understand why we need to assert ourselves, determine ourselves as brown people, then I think, the past, I sometimes forget how many years into democracy we are, because truly nothing much has changed, except that the face of the government has changed.
Okay. Mzu, I went through I browsed through the Facebook page, but what I realized was it's a selected few that can go in. So what is your selection process there? How do you see who gets to be a part of this page and who doesn't?
So when I set up the group, as admin, I get to approve who joins and who doesn't. And like I said, there's also members in the group. So you will join the group as Lebogang, and then you will recommend some of your friends. So it's basically, the key thing is it's a community of like-minded brown people. So you might be brown, for example, I've got friends, you've got friends, or people that you know or as acquaintances that might not be, sharing the same mindset, basically. So you know that you're not going to waste your time and their time trying to bring them to something that they'll just be viewers or stalkers, so to speak. But it's the key thing is it's like-minded people who want to work towards building something, for ourselves as young brown people.
See, you say that, like-minded people and building something for yourselves, but why do you guys have it on the Facebook platform instead of an independent website or something like that?
Okay, so I'm a big Facebook user. I've been a user, I think, since 2006 or 2007. I'm not big on Twitter, Instagram, and so forth. But Facebook is a great platform to bring people together for different reasons. Unfortunately, some of those reasons are not constructive. But I saw a space where I can bring together and access like-minded people using the Facebook platform. So you also bring a good point in terms of using that platform, because one other thing that I've learned is when you match the digital space and the human space. The two working together, you end up with something even greater. So, for example, we had an event on the 21st of March. Subsequent to that, the engagement, within the group of the members has grown. The membership has grown. So once you interact at that human level, then people get to, be exposed to your thinking, your heart, and where your space is, where your mindset is in terms of where you want to drive this.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mzu, for being a part of our network.
Thank you.
This was Mzuzukile talking about black entrepreneurship and advertising on social media. This week we caught up with Penny Libyani and she told us what her favorite piece of technology is.
Winnie Lebiane. I'm a broadcaster. Shucks, my favorite piece of technology. Ooh, there's so much. I mean, you know, throughout my career, I mean, starting with radio, good old radio is the original form of technology. But I guess in 2016, I'll say, yeah, my television set in the lounge. Besides fighting with my kids for it, and I get to record my favorite TV shows, I get to see my favorite stars, and I get to, you know, follow South African stories.
A very good afternoon. You're watching the Midday Report.
Lunchtime news amplified.
But for now, this is what they call home. Their hope to shift to a higher ground seems to be against the tide.
Midday Report provides you with more than just news stories.
I just want Port Elizabeth to know that they own a world-class theatre.
Good afternoon. You're with the news at 1 in the headlines.
Very good afternoon to you. This is News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Let's take a quick look at what's coming up in your headlines.
Good afternoon and welcome to A View from the House.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report weekdays at 12 noon only on the SABC News Channel.
This week, we caught up with an app developer who created her application after struggling to find a directory of some sort while attending a wedding in Cape Town.
A friend was getting married and we needed a makeup artist in Cape Town, and there sort of wasn't a tool out there where you can sort of like a directory that sort of tells you that there's a makeup artist in Cape Town who's good, sort of a rating. And so I sort of thought maybe we should develop an app where you can just sort of click on makeup, click on Cape Town, and then a makeup artist who's good and reliable in Cape Town sort of pops up. And that's how the whole app idea came about. And so we also decided to include other services such as braiding, because people do struggle with finding braiders last minute, nail services, makeup artists, and any other beauty service that you may require. Anybody across Africa, even across the globe, who wants to log onto the app, who wants to register onto the application can register. It's really, really easy to subscribe to be on the application. Right now it's free to register and free to subscribe. To register, all you have to do is visit our website, www.beautyontap.co.za. Some people have actually come to us and have asked for exclusive distribution of their products. So if you want to buy a certain product, you're only going to be able to find it on our shop site, which is pretty exciting, because I think it will draw a lot of traffic onto the website.
This is what people have been sharing on social media. Leicester City fans have been tweeting about the team's victory over Sunderland tonight, with @Pixiguna tweeting that the team deserved it all this season. In South Africa, Man Cave made the trending list on Twitter, with tweets praising the show's new set as well as the hosts. Well, that's all, folks. Don't forget to comment, retweet, or follow us on @SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll leave you with the video of a rocket landing on a waterpad. From me and the rest of the network team, good night.